Hello everyone, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean, this is Woodwork Journey, and we've got a doozy of a video for you today. So I hope you stick around because we've got a bunch of changes happening in the workshop, as you might start seeing. We're going to go through a little bit of a catch-up of what's going on, and I'm going to tell you about this big gaping hole. But I've got two other things to tell you as well, which I'm quite excited about, and I'm looking forward to doing more of on the channel. So I will tell you all about those. I'm going to keep this as quick as I can now. So, straight up, and number one, the table saw, or lack of it. Now, you may realise, especially if you follow my Instagram, that a while ago I fixed my table saw because it was broken. And I was very excited because they're not really fixable parts. And I managed to fix the up and down lift. I managed to replace the capacitor on it. I did a whole bunch of things and it ran really, really well. However, there was a bit of cast steel or metal inside there that is a non-replaceable part that I guarantee if I tried to take out and then hammer flat again, it would crack because that's just the type of steel that it is. But what it means is when you're winding the blade up, it kind of snags on a certain part of the threaded bar, and that means that it just causes that, and it winds away and it grinds away, and then eventually it just strips it. That's what had happened to it a while ago when I fixed it, and that's what's happened to it straight away, pretty much because I used a lesser quality threaded bar when I repaired it, but that just showed that it's going to keep happening. And so because of that, and it's a heavy saw, so I can't keep taking it in and out of this cabinet that I built for it. So we're going through a big change, and that change is, instead of this where the table saw was, I'm using this gap for two things, well, maybe three. You may see here that we've got some tabs sticking out, and that's just because I was kind of trialing my idea. I will make it better than these tabs at some point. But the idea is, number one, we're going to have an MFT top. So this MFT top I've drilled out, and they're 20mm holes for the bench dogs that I've got. I bought these from Bench Dogs in the UK ages ago, and it's nice to give them some proper use. And they are 100mm spacing centre to centre, so not quite the 96 that you would have, but I'm quite convinced that I could never afford the stuff that requires you to have the 96mm spacing. So 100mm spacing, 20mm holes, and it just means that I can take the bench dogs out and pop them wherever I want them. Now this means that I can have a perfect right angle. So I have measured it. I don't know what I've done with my square at the moment. These are all a bit snug, so I've got to sort those out. But yeah, so once they all go in there, that is a perfect right angle. So for putting stuff together or for cutting, then job is a good one. And now for the big change. I am going to be living that Tracksaw life. So I've got an old Erbauer Tracksaw, which isn't ideal. It's jolly heavy. It's the 185mm blade, but it is what it is. It's all I've got. I can't afford to get anything else. I know many people recommend the Makita, but no, it's just not something I can afford. So we're doing the best with what we have, which I think is what a lot of people have to do. And that should be how I approach this on this channel. So I'm not saying I won't change out this Erbauer at some point, because it is heavy. And so for my arthritis and stuff, it's very difficult. But it is something that we're going with for the time being. So I'm going to be popping in some sacrificial pieces into this. And I am going to be doing all of my cuts on the Tracksaw. So this is going to be the setup for rips, and following Peter Millard's idea of a cross-cut sled for Tracksaws, that's what this is. So I can only, at this point, this was just a tester. You can see that I've done a trial cut down here, but I can only cross-cut the height of this for the moment, so I will be making a better one. But the track just goes on there like so, and then you pop your wood underneath there, and then you can cross-cut away. So that should be pretty cool. But then we have the aspect that is making this truly a multi-function table, because we can get rid of all of this by taking the track off, the cross-cut sled. These will all get stored underneath the unit, so they'll all get stored under there, possibly on shelves. But then we have a router top. So for this bad boy, that can go in there. That's a relatively cheap router plate. I don't know if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to make one out of ply or MDF, but that's what I've got. So away you go. And also we've got the fence that I got off my previous router table that I made, and so that's what we're going to be able to use on there. And once again, when I don't want to use it, I take the fence off, I take the whole thing up, and then we pop it for storage underneath and swap it around for the MFT. Now, one of the things about this setup is I wanted to make it as safe as possible in case you want to go ahead and do a similar thing. So I went out and purchased another router. Now, this is from Rutland's. It's £90 at the minute, but full price is 150. But I've purchased this so I can pop this in the table. The reason I've got this is because it goes up to a 1/2-inch bit. So in my mind, that makes things significantly safer because I have had 1/4-inch router bits snap on me. But it's also got this threaded rod that goes down here, and I feel that if I drill through the middle of the base, I'll be able to then turn this upside down. Underneath, I'll have some threaded rod that goes all the way up and comes under there, so I'll be able to move it up and down from above the table, which is going to make life significantly easier. So that's my plan for that bad boy. That's just an M10, so it should be fairly straightforward to do. I think I will have to stop this. This is kind of a quick release button, and so I'll have to take the spring out and put a block or something behind that. But no, otherwise, that should be a 1/2-inch router. And these are heavy, by the way, in this tabletop, which again will get stored underneath. And then super easy to swap back to generally a multifunction table, which will be able to be used for all sorts of things. I might route out the grooves in here because my wife bought me the micro jig match fit system for Christmas, and I've not used it yet, so I might again, I feel terrible because I'm copying Peter on so many things, but pop that on the inside of here because I haven't really got, I've got some rail clamps which I guess would work, kind of. No, they don't work in, well, they would, they'd work under there, but not brilliantly. So I think the match fit stuff in there would go well, and I'll have a grid pattern like Peter at 10-Minute Workshop. So that should be good, but I will have a removable sacrificial strip, and that will follow all the way through the back, so I'll just make a strip out of the bench. But yeah, one of the things that I've got, or rather not got, but one of the things that I have done is last night I actually played around with Tinkercad, which is now an app on the iPad. I don't know how long ago that was done, but I used Tinkercad because it's unbelievably easy. Years ago, I designed a product which then got made and then got sold around the world, and that all came from a Tinkercad design, and it's quite difficult to get sort of super technical stuff. It's not a, you know, it's not a direct equivalent to a lot of CAD packages, but it's free, it's really easy to use. And last night I made like a torsion box for something like this, so it'll have a little bit of depth to it, but it means it'll keep it straight. And what I'm going to do is possibly put a shelf underneath there, so if I make a torsion box for this and with this, in fact, let me just show you the animation that I made, and that kind of shows exactly the sort of thing that I'm thinking about. But that torsion box just helps keep things nice and flat and straight and doing exactly what it should be doing. So yeah, this is all going to go pretty well. I've got one more addition to this that should be quite good, so I think I'm going to do one of those for the MFT and possibly for the router top as well. We'll not have the tabs holding things in, we'll have proper shelves, we'll have proper storage and all that sort of nonsense. So that's something that I will work out. But the reason that I wanted to do this is, first of all, because not everybody can afford a table saw or a decent one. And as Peter at 10-Minute Workshop shows, you don't have to have one. You can do a hell of a lot with a Tracksaw. Tracksaws tend to be significantly more affordable and will get the job done. The Parkside one recently was at Lidl's for, I think it's 80 quid, something like that. And that comes with tracks as well. Peter has reviewed that, I believe, so go and check that out. But no. So the idea is an inexpensive addition to the workshop, and it's great. This idea of a swappable top is great for a small workshop. Now I don't know if this is going to work full time, full disclosure, but it's certainly something that I'm going to try and do, because hopefully it'll help some of you guys out to know that, you know, you don't need a massive workshop, and something like this can be multifunction and help you do stuff. One more thing that I've got to add to this, which I'm really pleased about, is this bad boy. Now, this is something that my friends over at Hyundai in the UK have sent across to me, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys because I think it's got some real positive aspects going on. I will be doing a full review, but I've literally just reviewed it. I've literally just received it. And so I'll be using it, and then I'll give you a full rundown on it as well, and then possibly a long-term review later down the line. But what we've got, and why I'm excited to share this with you, is it's a nice powerful vac at the best of times, but it's also got the power takeoff idea that goes on right here. Now, I think this vacuum comes in with different badges on it. However, something that I've learned recently is that when you see a lot of products that look the same, they may start out that way, but individual companies can then speak to the manufacturers and say, right, well, instead of that motor, I want that motor, or instead of that fitting, I want that fitting, and so on and so forth. So that's where price disparities can occur, but also it's where things can be slightly better. And so this, I found, has been, it looks on paper to be very, very good indeed. So I'm very excited because this is going to be something that I will attach to the Tracksaw. It will be in support of this table, but obviously you can use it for other tools as well. Now, as well as being the attaching it to the Tracksaw, what I'm going to do is I have got a sleeve coming later today, which I'll be popping over here along with the power cable for said Tracksaw. So this power cable will be cut off somewhere around here, I imagine. And what's going to go on there is a connector that John McGrath from Man in Shed made a video about. I'll try and make sure that I leave links to all these videos I'm mentioning in the comments. But yeah, it's a connector, so I'm going to take that out, and then the power lead is going to come from the takeoff here and run in line with the hose. And then when I want to use it on here, I just plug that into the dust extraction, and the power cable will plug into that bit like that. So again, a great solution for a small workshop. It's stuff that I've seen other people do, and I'm hoping that sharing it will help you a little bit as well. Now, there is one more thing that I'm really excited about, and I will take you there right now. Now, this is something I am excited to be getting involved with. What we can see right here is we've got 3 oak stumps, and then these big bad boys at the back here are 3 birch stumps. Now, they've come out of this garden. These ones have been dried and given to me, but they're in order to be able to use this bad boy. Now, this was sent on by Forest, or from Forest Master UK, and what it is a home chainsaw mill. So the orange piece you can see at the bottom is actually a stand. It can hold things like miter saws, routers, whatever, but there is this attachment that goes on the top, which makes it a chainsaw lumber mill. And what happens is your wood goes in the middle, these sidebars lift up to be able to get exactly the height that you want. Your chainsaw goes between these 2 pieces, and then slowly you're pushing your chainsaw through the log, and that's cutting up or milling up the lumber for you. So I'm really excited to get this going. Now, ideally this needs a 24-inch chainsaw. Mine is a maximum of 20. It'll still work, but I just won't have full capacity on it. Yeah, we'll take it from there. But no, I'm excited to be having a play with that. And like I say, I've got the oak and I've got the birch, so it'll definitely get a good testing. But that's it for today. That's just telling you exactly what's going on. I hope you enjoy the idea of the router / MFT table. I hope that gets your juices flowing a little bit. I'm really excited to be doing all of the challenges of changing over to a Tracksaw instead of a table saw. I'm a little bit scared because I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and plenty of people have done it before me. So yeah, I hope you come along for that journey as well. And when it comes to this and milling up your own lumber, it's an extension in a much bigger version of what I've done previously in a previous video. So yeah, this is going to be super exciting. I should have reviewed this by now, but like I said, had a poorly couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll be getting onto this ASAP. If you've got any comments or queries, please do let me know down below. If you've got any questions about anything else that I've shown you in this video, please do put those questions in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Or if I get a bunch of questions along the same line, then I will make a video about it. All right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.